All right. Okay, now I can kind of get it started. Hold on one second. Let me fade this music out. How you doing? Welcome to the show. It's Hal Sparks, Megaworldwide. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Such a day we are having. I'm obviously using plugged-in earphones because my other ones just decided to take a crap right before the show. So we'll give them a rest. We'll let them kind of recharge for a little bit, and then we'll pick up where we left off, and it'll be totally fine, and you're all right. Welcome to the show. Hit the like, share the show out, annoy the maggot near you, ladies and gentlemen, because we are approaching what I would call punch out. When it comes to Trump, he is starting to punch himself out. And these are a couple of things that are going to happen to make any real change, because there's limited power that the Dems have in the House and the Senate as well. And certainly in the administration, with the exception of course, our operatives that are gaining ground. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to be aware that our secret moles, RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard, are working their way into positions of power, along with their hidden lefty compatriot Elon Musk, who makes his money in electric cars and wants to put chips in everyone's brain, which is clearly a left-wing / Democratic / Illuminati propaganda, proposition rather. So I would like to say congratulations to our moles. I shouldn't have bring it up, right? I'm not supposed to bring up that they're on our side. Anyways, let's see. I got this. Okay, that's the full address thing. Okay, yeah. And then there's one more clip that because it's going to be more than enough tonight, kids. Oh boy. It's well, here. Let me bring in the chat room and say hi to you guys. Hi, chat room. Look at you guys. Isn't it lovely? What's going on? Sorry about the fall down part of the hair. It's at a certain length where it just has drift. It's just, I don't know what to do. It's a length thing. It's all right. It's fine. I just don't want to go into be very careful not to enter Corey Feldman territory. It's dangerous. As an actor that sings, there's a couple of areas where you're like, oof, getting dangerously close. And I'm already in trouble with those kind of crossovers between, actors that sing, where I've got, obviously Don Johnson and I have that thing in common. And then, of course, I always have to watch out for my hair. So 80,000 and growing, share the show. That's the key. The free thing, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed now, I don't think you're human. It's the only way I can put it now. It's not that I don't think you're a real human. I don't think you're any kind of human. Where's the light? Oh, we'll see. Don't worry. You'll start to see the whining. Well, here, I'll jump into it. Before we get into Trump's little ditty about Jack and Diane, share out the show, and we will go over to, this is the story right now is that we are apparently melting down over Elon Musk. Man, the Venmo is very helpful, and it's great for the show, but I gotta move it someplace where if it helps. You can Venmo me and buy me a cup of coffee using that little thing right there. Just take a picture with your phone, and if you use Venmo, you can say hi. Yeah. Anyways, with a dollar, I don't care. Anyway, so this is a story we're hearing a lot, which is we're melting down instead of having a genuine reaction to something that's actually horrifying. Again, when someone references someone melting down in an argument or in a political arena, it's oftentimes less about the person unless it's a full-blown meltdown and it's obvious, like where they're screaming and flailing and wigging out. Like I would say Jan 6, good example of a meltdown. Sure. Anything short of that is really just a reaction, even if people are angry while they're talking, right? And all it says when you call something like that a meltdown is not about how they're feeling or your opinion of how they're feeling. It just lets me know what you give a shit about and what you don't give a shit about. So on the front end of this, largely people's complaints about Musk isn't so much that he's getting a look at government spending programs, it's that he's getting a look at the data of American citizens. And nobody's there to stop him is the fear. And so that limitation being gone is a point of concern. I think a reasonable point of concern. Yeah. And so it's not a meltdown to go, why the fuck is this guy, if we're melting down about the idea that this asshole might walk out of there with a hard drive with everybody's personal information on it, then Trump's bullshit about I'll give my taxes as soon as the audit's over was a full-blown meltdown for half a decade. So again, it's a double standard for people who have no standards at all. So let's jump in. This is Megyn Kelly, and she has the Fifth Column hosts, I'm sure a cute name about something. Elon Musk derangement syndrome sweeps across leftist America. So, by the way, it's leftists. It's, the Marxist commies who don't like him, not just the regular Americans who are like, wait a minute, why the fuck should this asshole get access to my personal data for free? He's not elected. And you can't appoint somebody to do that unless they've taken an oath or they have clearance. And if he has neither, what the fuck, right? That doesn't seem like it should even be a partisan thing, which might be where we actually have there's some wiggle room on this. And I think more than likely they will bring this up.
There is an onslaught of attacks against Elon Musk right now. And
boo fuckity hoo.
It seems like the Democrats smell blood in the water. They're like, this is our chance for our first win. We're going to.
Oh, so what you're saying is that was loud. My goodness. Why is that playing out of a speaker? That's very crazy. Excuse me 1 second. Hello. I love it, but what the heck? I don't even know why it would be coming out of a speaker. Hold on, is this out of the two? What speaker is hooked up to this, you crazy pants thing? I love that you guys are liking the stream. Listen to that. You hear that in the background? Okay, control audio via OBS. Okay, put that in there. Take it. Okay, excellent. And then I'll just turn it all the way down. Okay. That was fun. I think it was coming out of the speaker on the computer, which makes no fucking sense. Okay, so everything's always fun. It's always a great time for craziness. Okay, so back to what they were saying. So if you'll notice, they smell blood in the water should tell you a little something about the fact that it isn't just Democrats that hate this.
Smell blood in the water.
Okay, if there's blood in the water, then it means this impacts more than just a partisan group of human beings. How do you like the stream? I like it very much. Thank you very much. On YouTube, it's a thumbs up on there. And this is how we do it.
They're like, this is our chance for our first win. We're going to take out the unelected guy.
Right? You're on the right track there, dum-dum.
Who's running around. They're saying that he's trying to access classified files or files he's not allowed to see at places.
Yeah. Yes, that's exactly the concern.
It's like USAID. Trump came out yesterday and said he hasn't seen and he's not allowed to see anything that we don't permit him to see.
No, that's not what he said at all. That's not what he said. He's given him a broad authority to look at all kinds of shit, dummy.
So calm down.
Oh yeah, calm down. He'll police himself, by the way. The dude who fucking turned Twitter into Stormfront, he'll work it out himself, folks. Don't worry.
And then do we have the Harry Enton clip? Because he was on CNN showing the disapproval of Elon. We'll have it in a second. But here's AOC for.
Yeah, the Elon Musk disapproval rating is rising. And this isn't just a Democrat problem. That's why she said blood and water. That's why it's a point of concern. They're trying to defend him. These assholes are lining up to, protect him at all costs because I guess they've monetized their Twitter feed or some shit. But
first, going off about him.
Okay, wow. AOC going off. So you might want to turn your speakers down. I'm sure she's screaming and melting down and going off. She's going off. Okay.
This dude is probably one of the most unintelligent billionaires I have ever met or seen or witnessed. The danger in not.
Why do you have to edit her? Are you editing out the part where she's going off? Because I got to tell you, she seems like she's speaking reasonably. And I wish, Megyn Kelly, I know you're going to see this later because you hate watch me. And look, I have that kind of magnetism, and don't be afraid. Bloop. Zzz. But go watch Thunderfoot's stuff. Go watch any number of non-leftists on YouTube and even on Rumble who go into how full of shit and Elon Musk is, how stupid he actually is, how he overpromises and underdelivers. And a lot of this is just because he had the seed money, not the brains. He knows enough about some of these topics to blather about them and sound cryptic. And if he can't understand the question he's being asked, he falls back on some sort of philosophical first principles and eventually futurism. Shit that none of it's an original idea, none of it. So fuck off. He's an apartheid baby who got seed money to join PayPal initially because he was swooped up in this other stuff, and from that money that was made on that thing, which was a time and place kind of a win in the internet, not downplaying it, the people who did it put a service out there that was functionally useful. It does not port well, and he wants to turn X into WeChat. That's his goal now. So why don't you talk about that? Why don't you talk about how he wants to make it the app for everything like they have in China, and he's literally lining it up, both the algorithm on how it runs and its economics around the Chinese system. How about that? Because I got to tell you, I feel like I'm going off on this topic more than she is.
Stop. Why is she laughing?
The lack of intelligence.
She's laughing because you bought it, Megan. She's laughing because it's absurd that you think this motherfucker is an engineer.
And the lack of expertise that Elon has. I mean, this guy is one of the most morally vacant, but also just least knowledgeable about these systems that we really know.
I'm gonna guess that they're gonna appeal to it. He must be smart because he's got all this money. But do you think they'll go anywhere near morally vacant? Do you think?
But the point is that what that means is that they're going to hit a button. Inevitably, they are going to hit a button, and things can go sideways.
Okay,
if you're going to
make
like Obamacare,
is literally rescuing astronauts stuck on the International Space.
He literally is not. He owns the company that hired the people that are doing it. And they haven't done it yet, dummy, for the same reason other people haven't done it yet. He's literally not. He didn't throw on a fucking spacesuit himself. He didn't tweak his fucking ship all last week so that it could make the rounds at all. He's a private contractor who uses government contracts. The argument is that Blue Origin could arguably, if you gave them the same amount of money, be at this faster. It's about who you hire. You could say that he manages to scoop up kind of the best and the brightest by paying them a lot, milking them, and then firing them. You could do that.
Space station with his rockets. Right.
Hold on one second. Somebody, what? What the fuck? How is Nobsty? How am I mansplaining to Megyn Kelly? I will not allow you to be sexist to Megyn Kelly and say that her arguments are strictly feminine and that I'm explaining something. How about this? How about I'm not explaining it to her? I'm explaining it to the other three dipshits on her panel who think the exact same fucking thing. Is that okay? It's okay if I point out that they're full of shit, but if I point out she's full of shit, it's sexist. That's where we're going to go. That's your winning solution. Okay, bye.
Right now, he's unintelligent, she says. He's literally working to solve paralysis with his Neuralink chip that goes in your brain and makes you control a computer with.
No, he's not. That's the only place he can justify experimentation on human brains. That's the only way you can experiment on brain surgery like this, and or it's like when they put a pig kidney in somebody who's in a fucking coma who's not supposed to wake up. That he's using that element of it because he wants everybody else to just be linked to computers. He's not trying to solve paralysis. And by the way, it wouldn't solve paralysis. You'd still be paralyzed.
Your eyes. It's actually happening right now with actual human beings.
Yes, and there are a dozen other labs around the planet who are doing this as well. And it's not him. He's doing none of the medicine and none of the math.
What is she? She's trying to sell us that he's dumb?
Yeah. I would argue he's not dumb. I would argue he's stupid. I think he's got blind spots in his knowledge, but I think that's largely because he doesn't give a fuck, which is why you can't defend him morally.
She is trying to sell us that Elon is dumb?
Because she's dumb. And by the way, I would like to say that I'm coming to the defense of AOC, where the host of the show is arguing the point that as an elected congresswoman who was a bartender at one point, and because she's young, that makes her dumb. I would argue she is not. There you go.
It sounds smart when you're saying that the guy who can drop a rocket on a dime in the middle of Texas is dumb. Like, it sounds like a total moron when she's saying.
Yeah, he can't. He doesn't. His scientists do. The people at the company do. He pays them to do it. Pays them to solve it. It doesn't always work. They're piggybacking on all of NASA's studies. That's not the point. He's not fucking hand gliding the fucker in. He doesn't sit there with a goddamn joystick, move everybody out and go, put it on manual. What the fuck? Also, if this is the case, I don't want to hear shit from these assholes about like anybody running Apple or fucking Jesus Christ. Like what's their I mean, pick a George Soros. I mean, you can't argue. I mean, you're going to call him stupid? He played the currency markets against the Brits and became a billionaire. What are you going to say? That he's not smart? He doesn't know what he's doing? He doesn't know what he's talking about? Bill Gates? Like, these fuckers are always after Bill Gates, right? And none of them think that he's you know, where like the things he's doing now are smart because he's coding.
That is.
I'm not on Facebook again? Motherfucker. Are they messing with me again? Oh, there we go. It says I am. Oh, it does it again. Like when I check, it goes away. That's so weird. It's like, okay. Reconnect. Okay. I don't know why that would be. Oh, Rumble's kicking me off. That's why. Look at that. There you go. There you go. Back on there. I'm getting punted from Rumble by the free speech people. Hi, Rumble. And I'm sorry. I apologize. I don't speak Farsi. Because apparently the only thing that watches Rumble is Iranian bots.
That is remarkable. Yeah.
I mean, Elon is clearly the most, and I think it's just like fairly true. Like the most.
I like that. You sure you don't want to change the name of your show from The Fifth Column to Fairly True?
Most consequential entrepreneur of our lifetimes, perhaps. I mean, between Tesla and SpaceX alone, like that's a pretty big deal.
Is it? I mean, both of those are here because of government contracts. Both of them are here because of government support. I mean, I don't know if you can say fuck you to all the entrepreneurs out there who didn't get an $800 million seed injection from Obama's rescue package, right?
The potential for something like Neuralink is
the potential. Yeah. Well, hey man, look. Who am I to question the brilliance of Elon Musk and Neuralink? Get one. Go ahead. You'll be the future alphas. It just, hey man, version 1. I don't know why you're not jumping on this. This dude, I mean, do you want to live at the highest level of potential or not?
even more profound, and quite frankly has just become this kind of cultural icon as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, amongst incels and Nazis, I guess. I mean, it's about time they had a hero. It's been a few decades.
At the same time, like, while he's raised his profile on the political scene, there are moments where Elon is tweeting that I wish he would just kind of pull back on the stick a little bit.
So the Nazi salute didn't bother you at all?
There are
the
moments where
it's the tweets, right? Are we getting into the mean tweet part?
It's kind of like public hyperbole. I'm just like, dude, could you chill? Because when I look at what Doge aspires.
Well, real quick, you do realize that that's the real him. That what you're seeing at Tesla, what you're seeing at SpaceX, what you're seeing at XAI, all of his subsidiary companies, those are hands-off Elon. Those companies are all hands-off Elon. That is money infused in there, and he gets to show up and go, I'm a genius, but everybody else is doing the shit. It's like literally he's the least involved in all of those areas. The one area he is involved every day, all the fucking time is X, which is losing money, is a terrible, it's a failure as an asset, and the time he spends on there is fucking gross. He's gross. That's the real him. Like at a certain point, what stage of Howard Hughes are we in with this asshole?
To do, at least on paper, to the extent there is any kind of specific details about it. Like, it's hard for me to get mad about that. Like, being concerned, like radically obsessed even with cutting the size of government, with reducing waste it's just a noble and sensible goal.
Right, and it's a great way to hide your real goal of replacing the Treasury's payment system with your own proprietary software, so that once you're in, you own 80% of the market of it, and it's hard to get you out because of all the other things, and you make a nickel on every transaction that comes through the American economy. Right, that would be it. I mean, it's a great way to bullshit your way into the room. Let me use an example that you guys can understand. You know those guys that you guys are always clamoring about, who are they're sexual predators, but they pose as feminists, right? They're leftist-leaning guys who are actually, predators. Like, I don't know, like Rusty Trombone. They bring that, you guys bring that shit up all the time. And you understand that this is someone that knows how to talk their way past the doorman. That's all this is. He doesn't give a fuck. Why would he? If he gave a fuck about the American debt and workers and all that shit, you think he'd have his biggest factory in fucking Shanghai? Ever? Much less start building it fucking, 5 years ago?
And when I see what they're actually doing so far, to the extent anyone knows what's going on.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Listen to that sentence. Dude, for fuck's sake, listen to that sentence. Say that again.
The size of government with reducing waste it's just a noble and sensible goal. And when I see what they're actually doing so far, to the extent anyone knows what's going on.
When I see what they tell me is going on, that's what you mean. Hey, honest to God, it looks like they're throwing a party in the bank. That sounds like firecrackers. I mean, these Democrats coming around going, they're yelling at people to get on the floor and pointing a shotgun at the manager and telling him to open the fucking vault. I don't buy it. It sounds like a party in there.
There's a bunch of young kids with laptops, or younger people with laptops. Sometimes they get in trouble for using the word kid, are showing up.
Why? You think they're goats?
In meetings, and they're asking questions, and they're trying to look at code bases. We don't actually know what the hell is going on. There is nothing that suggests to me that the level of panic that has seized the Democratic Party and people who hate Donald Trump in general, and apparently Elon as well, there's nothing that seems to justify that at the moment.
Okay, and then by the time it seems to be justified, it's over. Dumbass, that's the point. By the time it's a problem, it's over. Dude, the idea that anybody who hasn't taken an oath to the and has to actually live up to that oath, or they go to fucking jail, has walked into the fucking Treasury with their laptop and plugged it in wherever the fuck they want because they've gotten permission to do so, doesn't bother you, is fucking crazy. And the fact that they locked other people out while they did it. Why would they want people to leave while they're doing it?
But I don't think that the way that they're going about things and the kind of attempts at provocation around these issues is necessarily like great for Elon. Maybe the Democrats kind of overstep and are way out over their skis. At the moment, he's being accused of committing all kinds of crimes, and there's panic because these kids like know how to code and are maybe coding things.
Dude, you are so fucking close to it. See how they're all fucking close to it? Let me put it this way. What if it was Hunter Biden and his laptop? How about that? What if Joe Biden said, you know, my son is a financial genius. He's made a lot of money doing a lot of work and stuff like that. So I'm just going to have him go into the treasury with his laptop. And I'm giving him permission. And he doesn't have to take an oath. Nothing. And what are you going to let him look at? Anything he needs to, but he only gets to look at it. He can only read all the stuff in there and, you know, copy stuff, but he can't write anything. He can just don't read and copy stuff. He can only take stuff with him. How in the fuck do you think you guys would act? Are you kidding me? It's it's so fucking weak.
People should probably be more panicked about the fact that the payment systems are written in these old, antiquated programming languages. Nobody actually knows how any of this stuff works.
Yes, they do. It's COBOL. Fucking Besant knows how to write in COBOL. That's how he started. It's an old system because there's redundancies on it and it's reliable. It works. There's the problem with being cutting edge is think of all the security updates you get on your fucking phone. You ever anybody here ever get a fucking security update on a calculator? For real. Do you understand what I'm saying? Good Lord, these guys are fucking dumb.
It isn't well documented. The government has the capacity to screw things up all on its own with its longtime experts and longtime consultants. That is what they did with Obamacare.
What? Hold on. Their longtime experts screwed up with Obamacare? How? By not having a public option?
Particularly frightened by programmers showing up and taking a look at code and
taking a look at code. Unelected, non-governmental employees working for a lobbying firm. That's effectively what Doge is.
Trying to assess
the programs
how
are
things
interesting.
work and if they could be better.
Why are we auditing Matt Taibbi with our IRS and no one's auditing USAID to figure?
Because they do audit USAID. They get new funding every year from the Congress. Again, how many? All right, where's the? Hold on, let me show you guys something. This is another example. You know how we talked about like the Laken Riley story, and as tragic as it is, we kept hearing all the fucking time about how this is just the tip of the iceberg, and this is a major problem. This is a huge problem. We've got this terrible situation. Let me see if I can back this up. Hold on. Okay. We got this terrible problem with immigrant crime, and they keep, in a country of 340 million people with allegedly 20 million illegals running around, they keep naming the same 6 cases. Which just tells me it's not a statistical blip. It's an individual tragedy that you deal with as an individual tragedy. If you want to get rid of crime in the country, you want to drop it down significantly on a statistical level, take Mississippi and put it in the ocean, because that would do it. That would solve it more than brooming out people who are working under the table in agriculture or whatever. That's a different conversation for another time, but it's not where the crime is coming from. And if it was, they wouldn't have to name the same 6 people, right? It'd be like, dude, I can't even keep up, right? Let me show you what I mean. So this is Cynthia Loomis, who's the Republican from the great state of Karen. And by the way, hold on, I gotta open this up. Where is it? She's from the great state of Wyoming. She is. We're firing on all cylinders. We're double Karening it in the state of Wyoming. I'm Harriet Hageman. You're handsome. So this is Cynthia Loomis, Republican from Wyoming.
When I was growing up, I thought about foreign aid as helping people in foreign countries who needed food or shelter, who were struggling because their country was having a civil war and they'd been cut off from having clean water, enough food for their families.
Yeah, you thought of it as just the Red Cross. We get it.
Some place for shelter.
Yes, until you heard about the Belt and Road Initiative, where foreign aid from China means building entire ports, building lots of schools.
I think
I mean, they suck, and most of the time they're empty and they're debt traps, but still.
that's what most Americans think foreign aid is.
And most of it is. You know how I know? Because the budget of USAID is $40 fucking billion. Now,
We want to help people around the world because the United States is blessed.
we're blessed, y'all. We're blessed. Blessed be, let me tell you, friends, we are blessed in these United States of America. Let us pray upon the less fortunate. All right, amen. Pass the mashed potatoes. So,
God has given us more than he's given most nations, and that we need to respond.
no, we kind of took it too. I mean, we're bootstrappers. I wouldn't say it was all manna from heaven. It hasn't been that. I mean, definitely the wheels feel greased compared to some other places on the fucking planet, but good Lord.
In ways that are helpful to our fellow man. But today, I hear my colleagues blaming a guy named Elon Musk for doing away with foreign aid.
Yeah, they froze all of it. All of it. All of it. All $40 billion of it, froze it for 90 days. Now, I'm sure that she's going to go, $40 billion, and we froze that, and it turns out that $38 billion of that was going straight down Bob Menendez's gullet. It was going straight to buy slip and slides for the Saudis, right? It's a total waste. The vast majority of the funds of the $40 billion, you had to freeze all of it because the majority of it is doing terrible things. Or who thinks she's going to mention the same 5 stupid fucking things they brought up that amount to about maybe $110 million out of the 40 billion?
If anybody is to blame, it's us. It's the Congress of the United States for taking our eye off the mission of our country to provide aid.
Ma'am, all due respect to you and everyone else in Wyoming. But you've got fewer people in your... Oh, shit, let's look it up. Hold on. I feel bad when I don't actually look up the actual number. Let's see. Wyoming. Whoops. Wyoming. You'd think I'd have it memorized by now, but I don't want to. Okay. Yeah. Fuck this. Jesus. Wyoming has 2 fucking senators. 2 senators. 2 votes in the fucking Senate. In the fucking Senate. 2 votes. 2 senators. 585,000 people. Just over 500,000 people in the fucking state. Two senators. You want to talk about a waste of federal funds? Why are we paying for two senators? Why is the U.S. taxpayer paying for a stretch of land that has 585,000 people in it to have two fucking senators? You have the same amount as California, same as New York. You want to talk about a waste? You want to save some fucking waste? How about you join Wyoming with fucking Montana and North and South Dakota and make it one fucking state, and all together you assholes would still, all four of those states combined, still have less people than Los Angeles. Not county, not including the San Fernando Valley, but the fucking city basin. And you know what LA gets? A mayor and a city council. Shut the fuck up. If we got to live with the fact that this place has two goddamn senators and 585,000 people in it, then I just don't want to hear from you. You guys could just sit up there and be lucky you fucking exist under the safety net of the goddamn country because you don't contribute. You don't. You don't make a fucking blip. And don't talk to me about gas fields and oil fields because you could fucking mine those from 100 miles away. Good Lord. This woman's telling us about like how we should rein in spending. How did we get so far down this road? I'll tell you how we got so far down this road. We let Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Montana stay 4 states so that the Republicans could, post-slavery, could have an imbalanced level of power. Good Lord. How dare you? Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah. Wyoming's GDP $41 billion. That's a lot, right? $41 billion. That sounds like a lot. That is almost the entire budget of USAID. $41 billion. That's what Wyoming kicks in. That is 0.18% of US GDP. 0.18%. 0.18. Not 1.8. Not 18, for fuck's sake. 0.18%. Do you get the point? Where I don't give a fuck. I don't care who represents that fucking state. And I don't want to hear from you about what the nation at large does. You're lucky to be under the envelope. You benefit from an oversized military budget in that area because there was so much empty fucking land. We buried a giant nuclear missile base there. But when you have fewer people, Jesus Christ, hold on. Let me, yeah. Meanwhile, you want to know what LA County does in business, ma'am? You want to talk about contribution to the country at large? Los Angeles County has an economic gross domestic product of more than $790 billion in 2022, contributing to a quarter of California's gross state product, a quarter of the $4+ trillion Los Angeles metro area GDP in 2020 amounted to 1.06 trillion US dollars, with the manufacturing industry generating about $99.2 billion. Manufacturing in Los Angeles County contributes more to the US economy than the entire fucking state of Wyoming. So save it. Fucking, like, good God. You think people from Wyoming know this? You think they know? Because here's the thing. I got nothing against Wyoming being a fucking rural state and being a place where you get oil and gas and where there's some nice hunting. It'd be a great place to go build a fucking lodge. I'm fairly certain that, that Harrison Ford has a house up there, right? It's where he flew his helicopter and saved a bunch of people because these fuckers fell behind and didn't help. Right? That's how good Wyoming is that fucking actors with helicopters have to fly over and save people from fires because you guys are so on the fucking ball. Now, when I'm president, will we harm Wyoming? Of course not. Will we help make Wyoming the best it can possibly be? Abso-fucking-lutely. But it's going to take a lot more work out of the Wyomingans and their generalized industry, either in keeping those tourist sites the sweetest and best places to go in the whole fucking country. And you better, like, man, this is the place to go duck hunting or whatever. You guys better work your ass off to make it the Disneyland of the North. Before you start rambling around telling New York what the fuck is up. Because everything that happens to Wyoming is paid for by California and New York. Sorry, Rob Glenn had a good idea, which is not surprising. And I saw somebody rail by that. What was it? You might have to put it in the chat, Rob, so I can see it, because there's too many people in here. But you guys get my point, for fuck's sake. Okay, now, this isn't even my fucking point, by the way. This is not even the point of this video. Watch this.
To those around the world who need it.
Yeah, they get it from California and New York. You guys don't contribute. You barely produce enough to make a dent in the federal budget if you threw everything you made in.
Millions of taxpayer dollars
that don't come from Wyoming
are being wasted on left-wing pet projects that don't benefit us here at home, that actively work against our interests and do not help those in need around the world.
Okay, well, one thing, if California and New York are kicking in something like 6,000% more than you are, maybe their priorities on these kind of optional things matter more. I mean, in a meritocracy.
I believe that American taxpayer dollars should be spent making lives better for Americans and better for those around the world who have far less than we have.
Dude, very few states have far less than Wyoming has.
You know, I've been talking about our national debt since I was first elected to Congress in 2009. At that time, our national debt was just turning over from $9 trillion to $10 trillion.
Oh my God, what a huge goddamn number. Hold on, wait. Let's see. Okay, so 1990, 2023. I'm getting a chart. This is, bless her heart. Okay, so in 2010, when was this? 2009.
Turning over from $9 trillion to $10 trillion.
Okay, $9 trillion to $10 trillion. Dear God, oh no, $10 trillion. Okay, so Gross domestic, the GDP of the United States from 1990 to 2023. Here you go. See this right here? Okay. Here it is in 2010. It is 2009. 14 trillion. 14.5 trillion. Our debt was going from 9 to 10. Our debt continued to climb, as did our GDP. As a matter of fact, but for COVID and Donald Trump's fucking spending spree in the beginning of it, and what was required to fix that part of it, we were on track to constantly overtake GDP throughout. At this point, still, to this day, as of 2023, our GDP, the US GDP, is $27 trillion. China's is 18. And I don't have to tell you guys the fucking butter analogy again, but there might be some maggots who are new, who are like, China's got the second biggest economy in the world. No, they don't. Norway and Japan are closer to having the second biggest economy. You know why? Because I judge an economy by its ability to outlay the amount of money in it to the citizenry of that particular country. And in the United States, our economy versus the 340 million people that we have is effectively, we have one pat of butter, right? That's the $27 trillion. And we have a piece of bread that is the entire population. And it might get a little lumpy in places where some people have more and a lot of people have less, but still there's enough butter to cover the fucking bread. Okay. China has 2/3 the butter, 2/3 of that pat of butter, and 75 loaves of bread. How the fuck is that a powerful economy? Unless you're willing to throw your people under the bus, is really what it is. Thank you, Susie. I try. U.S. has a $27 trillion economy. We have a $36 trillion debt, which could be pared down with that $27 trillion as it continues to grow over time if we don't have, but for the emergencies like 2020. If you look at the arc of where it was going, of GDP cranked right up along with it. Even with this buy-in, look at this. Look at this 2020 right here. In 2020, our GDP was $21 trillion. It is now 27. In the same period of time that the debt went up, so did GDP. Look at this spike. And a myriad of reasons for that. And that's one of those things where they say, for every dollar that you lend into existence, 5 are created in actual wealth because people spend it and it bounces around the economy and adds to stuff and stacks and all those kind of things. That's why. And this young lady comes from a state with 585,000 people, with a budget that would barely cover one U.S. agency if they gave every dime they made in the entire fucking state. Again, not even a fucking blip compared to L.A. County. And they get 2 goddamn senators.
I was apoplectic. How could we let our national debt get over $9 trillion? Mr. President, today our national debt is $36 trillion.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Who put a third of that in there, lady?
That's absolutely inconceivable.
No, it's not. It's completely conceivable. Our overall debt, all of it, $36 trillion. Every year, $27 trillion worth of business goes to the country. Every year. $5 trillion worth of transactions goes through Goldman Sachs every fucking night. Hold on. Staff chat, yes? Rob Glenn, Dems should fund 200,000 new voters to move to each of the states and secure a supermajority in the Senate. It would be really cheap. Trump tax cuts plus Iraq and Afghanistan wars are a huge percent of that. Yes, that's true. Yeah, so thank you, Rob. Absolutely. Yeah, Democrats, I would suggest buying a summer home and making it your primary access, your primary address in places like Wyoming, Montana, North and South Dakota. Because a couple 100,000 people moving out of the cities, those places that can work remotely, could do it. To be completely honest, Rob, the 3D printed house I want to do, I want to put it in one of those states, probably Montana, because I don't know that I can say wow big every goddamn day I get on an airplane. But
It's inconceivable to the American people. It's certainly inconceivable to the people in my state.
oh yeah, you know why? You know why? Because your entire state's economy is about the size of 8 Hardee's franchises.
They want answers. They want to know. Where's all this
Where's
money going?
what money? What money, Wyoming? What do you mean is, where's all of California's money going? That's what you mean. This is so fucking aggravating. Okay, but we haven't even gotten to the point yet.
That's why they elected Donald Trump.
People in Wyoming vote Republican all the time because they know they don't pull their own weight. And if there's not a Republican in there spreading the funds around and giving them, graft essentially for their state, they'll get fucked. They think Democrats are going to let them starve or fall apart. And we wouldn't.
They didn't like seeing people come into our country illegally. They didn't like seeing
From Wyoming?
inflation make their lives harder, make
Sorry, if you live in the sticks, everything's more expensive. And if you choose to live in the sticks, shut the fuck up. Like, it's one thing to live in Appalachia or in Peaks Mill, like I grew up, where that's just where we could afford to live.
their family pay $1,000 to $1,500 more per month with no change in their lifestyle. Inflation is eating away at the lives of American people. They're working harder than ever, and their dollars going less far.
And yet we're still overweight, and storage is the biggest growth industry in the country.
Now we're talking about Elon Musk being to
Yes, we are.
blame.
No, they're not blaming him for it. They're saying that he is killing $39 billion worth of funding for things that you were talking about, like feeding starving people and stuff, because he doesn't like, 12 programs.
I'm proud that President Trump chose to include Elon Musk in his administration.
So what?
Because President Trump is already getting results, the kind of results that the Congress has turned a blind eye toward.
Yeah, give me those $1 trillion worth of savings. Yep.
We all know that Washington is addicted to spending, and it isn't getting any better. For too long, my colleagues have had meltdowns.
Okay, by the way, if Washington is addicted to spending, Trump is a fucking crackhead.
Anytime somebody suggests we should cut spending, but I'd always thought that we all agreed we need to take a look at some of the federal programs.
Yeah, take a look at some of the federal programs. You do it all the time. It's your fucking regular job, but it's too boring and it doesn't make the news.
Into which,
By the way, that's part of what this is. Can we be abundantly clear real quick as a sidebar, ladies and gentlemen? Elon Musk and Trump freezing all the funding for USAID and then talking about a couple of programs that they don't like or that they think are wasteful or that happened a long time ago. And they're like, oh, my God, I can't believe we spent money on that. Whatever. In every giant program like that, there's going to be that kind of stuff. So it's easy to find those anecdotal stories. But the real reason is that they just did their regular fucking job, which is go in, look at something where there's $40 billion worth of expenditures and know that there's probably about I don't know, $100 million worth of stuff and that you could prune out and fix on the regular. That's the constant gardening that governing requires, but it's fucking boring. It's why we have committees. It's why we have all these fucking showboaters in there now.
We're pouring taxpayer money. Well, thanks to President Trump, we finally had the opportunity to get started assessing what we're spending money on. And what we're finding in some instances is it's not very pretty.
In some instances, let me guess, shit we've heard about a dozen times, and
This week,
here we go.
we learned just how much USAID has been weaponized by the far left.
Weaponized by the far left. This should be good.
They're pouring millions of
Pouring millions.
taxpayer dollars
Oh,
into liberal programs and causes. And I'll bet some of these, even my colleagues on the left, had no idea about. This is wildly
well then why are they pouring it into the, how are you blaming them?
out of keeping with stated American interests for how we will spend taxpayer dollars abroad.
Okay, I hear you. Okay, here we go. You're going to tell us that we're totally off the rails. Go for it.
Here are some of the ways the last administration have wasted your money.
The last administration, by the way, who were continuing payments that were going on, in this case with USAID, for a couple of decades. This just, and the Congress re-upped the payments and knew about this.
More than 4.5 million to
4.5 million. Okay, hold on. Wait. I need a calculator, God damn it. We got to, hold on. That's right. Let's see. One moment. Calculator. There you go. Let's see. Let's see. Hold on. Back up. Clear. 4.5. Watch you go. Oops. Back up. I'll know how to use one eventually. There we go. Okay. 4.5 million. There we go. Next.
combat disinformation in Kazakhstan.
Okay. To combat disinformation in Kazakhstan, where we were actively engaged in long-running, well, I guess it would be the Russian taking over Kazakhstan, our relationship with Kazakhstan. Okay, so $4.5 million with an M.
And just whose disinformation is it? I think that's probably in the eye of the beholder.
I see. So you were for whatever lies were being told by the Kremlin. Gotcha. Okay.
20 million for a new
Okay. All right. 20 million. Okay. For how much? For what?
Sesame Street show in Iraq.
The Sesame Street show in Iraq. You guys have heard about that one. I have no doubt.
25 million.
Okay. 25 million. Okay.
For Deloitte to promote green transportation in the country of Georgia.
Okay, 25 million for green incentives in the world. We probably kicked in with other countries on that. Okay.
Nearly 8 million to teach Sri Lankan journalists how to avoid, quote, binary gendered language.
Okay, nearly 8 million. We'll go with 8. I'm gonna round down. Fuck her. So, because like, why would I add on top of it? So let's go nearly. All right.
Binary gendered language in Sri Lanka?
Yeah, because of the language difference, and we might have had people over there that they had to communicate about, and they might not understand it. So it's sort of a translation issue in dealing with the State Department and people that we might have over there, envoys and the like, so they know how to even discuss it, and yeah, it seems reasonable. Long-term relationship.
You've got to be kidding me.
I'm not kidding you.
5 million to
Okay, $5 million. Hold on. Okay.
Eco Health Alliance, one of the key NGOs, non-government organizations, funding bat virus research at the Wuhan lab.
Yeah, Biden ended EcoHealth's, they banned them from USAID. Yeah, so hold on. EcoHealth Alliance banned, because Trump let them have it. Yeah, U.S. Department of let's see, blah, blah, has suspended funding to EcoHealth Alliance. Yeah, you go. Yeah, last year. U.S. government suspends funding for virus research group at center of COVID-19 controversy. Yeah, before COVID-19. Yeah, so in a new letter to Eco Health Alliance and its president, HHS lists 30 pieces of information, some dating back to 2013, to support its decision. HHS said in a memo that EcoHealth failed to adequately monitor virus growth in experiments at the Wuhan Institute of Virology, notify the National Institutes of Health that viruses studied there appear to grow beyond permissible threshold laid out in a grant, or provide requested information in a timely manner. So the Biden administration ended that funding that was ongoing.
$20 million for a
Okay, hold on. Plus 20 million.
group related, by the way, to a key player in the Russiagate impeachment hoax. 1.5.
Wait a minute. What do you mean related to? What the fuck does that mean? You're just going to cover any Ukrainian? How related do they have to be? Do they have to know some guy named Stan? What the fuck?
$5 million to rebuild the Cuban media.
Hold on. How much?
Ecosystem. 1.5 million.
Okay. That was 5 million, right? Whoops. Back up one. Plus 5 million. Plus 1.5, I think is what she was going to. Next. Okay.
On DEI programs in Serbia. Diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in Serbia.
Now, is that are they actually DEI, or are they you guys label them that way, or were they U.S. funds spent on U.S. facilities? You know, like because of our staff that's there and that kind of stuff. Like we had a training thing there, or regular, and then they were supporting materials and shit like that. Okay.
Mr. President, I could
Okay, I think
probably go on for another hour.
I don't think you can, because these are the same ones we hear all the time. Okay, so that is $88.5 million worth of stuff that you named. Now, I have heard those exact same fucking programs mentioned every time somebody brings this shit up. Every time they bring it up, they bring up the same shit. That's $88 million worth of stuff. That is whatever, 2%, less than 2% of the budget of USAID. Do you get my point? And again, if they had a lot of these things, if there were as many of them as they said, they wouldn't have to repeat them. Everybody would take 10 of their own. Right? And Democrats, here's a good idea. When we're dealing with these things, because like right now, like there's this, you know, Elon Musk Trump bum rush that's going on. Okay. I think that the goal should be all Democrats. There should be no repeating. Anybody who comes up with a talking point about a particular issue that they have, don't double layer it. Each person can handle that thing and just go, that's why this is chaos. And then the overarching theme should be chaos and disorder, which is what they're trying to do. They're trying to, you know, just like bull in a china shop through shit they don't understand. Gotcha? Okay. Anyways, silly person, silly woman. And then these guys are like, how dare you? All right, here we go.
Figure out why we're spending millions on Irish, what is it, dances? I don't, like DEI dances.
dancing. It's lovely. You should come check it out, Kelly. You'll love it.
Why, if we're going to take a hard look at the Matt Taibbi's of the world, which was started under Joe Biden, why can't we spend a sharp accountant for USAID? And the answers in both cases are because these are political decisions, 100% political decisions. By the way, Trump should drop that Matt Taibbi IRS thing, and he should pull the feds off of James O'Keefe too.
Oh, really? Why? Because their crimes don't matter? Because So as long as you're not weaponizing it towards someone, benefiting your buddies is totally fine. Okay, then I don't want to hear shit about Biden's pardons from any of you assholes. Not a fucking peep.
I find it very disturbing. I mean, this seems to be some government slush fund that has gotten away with too long.
Does it seem to be that way with your limited understanding of how all this shit works?
Too much for too long. So Elon's starting here, and this is because he's received nonstop negative coverage. You watch the news, that's what you hear, the AOC soundbite. You hear him being talked about like he's some sort of an idiot who wants to sneak in on all of our private files. Meanwhile, it's like, what do I care? Do I really care whether...
Wow, that's your answer. Yeah, you do, Megan. Yes, you do. Of course you do. Do I really care if Elon Musk has access to all my taxes and my health records? All right. Then if you don't care, then just make the flat argument. Just go, I trust Elon Musk, and go on like, you know how Elon Musk was asking for people to put their like x-rays and their medical stuff into Grok to see if it could figure stuff out or whatever? Do it. Live by example, Megan. If the rest of us have nothing to fear about having our private lives in his hands, then show up at his fucking door with a hard drive and a file that has a copy of your birth certificate and your social security card and the deed to your house and everything you fucking own. Just give it to him. Make a point. Have him on your fucking podcast. Sit across from him and hand him all your data. Because if you're cool with it, I want to fucking see it.
Elon sees like I don't know, my social security number. I think he's good. I don't think we're in danger of identity theft. He's set. He's not going to be doing the home title theft against the four of us.
You do realize his biggest factory is in China, and he relies on Russia for all of his aluminum. And by the way, do you think he's got enough? Has he stopped making money and just started giving it away? That would be a sign. Yeah, you want, like, he doesn't even want to earn any more money. Once he hit 200 billion, he just started handing out everything. He doesn't even take a profit anymore. And again, at a certain point, that stuff's not about money. It's about power and control, stupid.
But okay, fine. I don't want anybody snooping around, so it's fine. And he's not.
How do you know? How do you know? How do you know he's not snooping around? Because he says so? Because there are people who are charged with watching those things, standing over his shoulder, making sure? No, they've been asked to leave the room.
But here you get the CNN, like they aired this on the Harry Enten thing, just to make sure we all know people don't like him.
A key role for Musk and Trump's administration. You see this 39% support, 53%, the clear majority opposed. They don't want this. The American people don't want this. The American folks, simply put, do not want Elon Musk having a key role in the Trump administration. Elon Musk's net favorable rating, you know, back in 2016 when he was known as the SpaceX guy, right? His net favorable rating was plus 29 points. By last year, pre-fall, he had dropped all the way down to -3 as he began to take on more of a political role. Now look in 2025. Whoa, the bottom has fallen out, minus 11 points. And it should be noted that Donald Trump's own net favorable rating is closer to about a net 0. So Elon Musk at this particular point is far more unpopular than Donald Trump is, who is at the apex of his popularity. In fact, what we see with Elon Musk is he is at the trough of his popularity.
Harry should do some workouts.
Harry. Yeah. I want to defend Harry, by the way, who is great. And if you go back to...
Also, by the way, the portrayal of, you know, how he acts it out and how it looks like fucking romper room, I don't care. Deal with the details. And understand that the impact on his favorability is directly related to his behavior, him as a fucking person.
clips. He's a very straight shooter. I'll just be honest. Harry is a fantastic guy. And if you
Yeah,
go
we like
back during the last election, you could put together an amazing supercut of Harry giving hosts on CNN news that they didn't want to hear. And there's like all these numbers, and they were
Right, like he's doing with you guys right now.
like, "Is that real?" And he's like, "Yes, it's real." But again, that actually doesn't surprise me, in the sense that, as you point out, Megan, there has been, and I have a huge number of issues with Elon Musk, and I think
Like what?
there's things you have to guard against.
Like what?
Of a guy that has, companies that have government contracts being entangled with the government, you have to keep a close watch on these things.
Yeah, you got to keep a close watch.
I don't like his interactions with the AfD in Germany, et cetera. But
You don't like it? Why don't you like it? His interactions with the AfD, the up and coming Nazi fascists in Germany. You don't like it? Feels weird? Gives you the rumbly tumblies?
the negative coverage has been wildly disproportionate, and you see
I'm sorry. Wildly disproportionate to the fact that he has government contracts and there are no guardrails on his ability to see your private information, and that he's a big fan of the AfD. Sorry, isn't that enough? Again, why do I have to tell you motherfuckers? I don't need another reason to hate Donald Trump except for the fact that he was friends with Jeffrey Epstein for 2.5 fucking decades. I don't need another reason. Right? I don't need one. That's enough. And the idea that he's the only person that can do these kind of things is a failure in the Republican Party if these things are so fucking popular, right?
that on TikTok, you see it on Twitter, on Instagram, everywhere I go, I see this stuff. So it doesn't surprise me in any way that those numbers have collapsed because,
because you don't like that he hangs out with the AfD.
It was mostly positive coverage before, and this is just not the case now.
And it couldn't possibly be that his behavior has changed? Pre-Nazi salute, post-Nazi salute?
Well, look, I mean, they just spent 2 weeks telling us he did a Nazi salute, right? And he's like,
yeah, that's
pro-Hitler.
That one might hurt too.
Every word that's uttered about him is negative in the news. And so it's actually kind of impressive that he's only -11. The guy who runs around firing everybody doesn't tend to be popular.
First of all, no, it isn't, because you guys, no matter how friendly he gets with the fucking Nazis in Germany, the up-and-coming Nazi party, or the fact that he may or may not have, and we don't know, and whatever, he may be in the building, but we don't know that he's accessed these things, and when we do, it'll be too late. And I don't know what the fuck this guy feels at all. And you guys can't stop filleting his butthole and blowing him up like a balloon. So the idea that he's only getting bad reports around is horseshit, because you guys are also arguing that you have more weight in the world than the legacy media does. So if that's true, it wouldn't fucking matter how much CNN shits on him. It wouldn't matter what MSNBC says about him. And certainly, apparently it doesn't help that Fox News thinks the sun shines out of his ass and you're going to get a sunburn.
Remember that movie Up in the Air? Is that what it was called? Is it Up in the Air?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Up?
Yeah, with George Clooney, where he's firing everybody.
Oh, yeah. I think
Good
that's
movie.
right.
Am I confusing
That's a
that
good
one
movie.
for the balloon one with the cute old man,
Yeah, Up. You are.
the cartoon?
I think that's just up. That one is
that's
up.
just
That I
Okay,
know.
thank you. Thank you. My
Up
two
in the Air
lanes
was
of
written by
entertainment.
MAGA. Wasn't Up in the Air was written by MAGA stalwart
Walter Kern.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Oh my
it was
gosh.
a MAGA guy. Yes,
I
have
didn't
him
know
on.
that. Yeah, I'm a fan of his. Well, by the way, this just in, Caroline Leavitt, White House press secretary, I was made aware of the funding from USAID to media outlets. This is just happened, including Politico, who I know has a seat in this room. I can confirm that the more than 8 million taxpayer dollars that have gone to essentially subsidizing subscriptions to Politico will no longer be happening.
Okay, by the way, that's a lie. Politico Pro is a service they offer as an editorial thing where they gather information, and there are government entities throughout the entire government that I guess subscribe to that service, and USAID subscribes to it on their behalf. That's it.
Doge team is working on canceling those payments.
They don't show up as regular subscribers. It's kind of like, there are also, it'll come as no shock to anybody that everybody at the Pentagon has a subscription to Jane's and all these like weapons manufacturer newsletters.
It's right on, Caroline.
And you pay for that too. And are you artificially pumping up these papers because of it? No.
This is this is wonderful. Why, who would be, other than Politico, opposed to this kind of testing of what uses?
Nobody. That wasn't the problem. Straw man, stop moving the fucking goalposts. The problem was not paring out stuff that people don't like. The problem is freezing $40 billion of food aid and assistance for people who are in deep shit so that you can work out your fucking anti-woke boner on like 1 or 2% of the overall budget. And it's exactly what fucking happened. Because that's why they moved it underneath Rubio's office and why he delegated it to somebody else. And the vast majority of it continues on.
Is being made of our federal dollars. We continue to face.
Okay, gold or something. She's selling gold or whatever. I think that it should be abundantly clear to everybody that this is a lot of show. This is a lot of fappery, as it were. Excuse me 1 second while I look at that. I have to enter in, do a code of good. There it is. Okay. Pale. Oh, come on. Send me another bloody well, fuck. Whatever. Send me another code, you weirdo. There we go. Okay, I waited too long. Stupid. All right. I love three-factor authentication. Okay, so Trump spoke at the National Prayer Breakfast, and this will prove to be a fucking the most sacrilegious thing you will see all year unless you see a live version of The Exorcist. By the way, looking fantastic, dude. Looking healthy and aware and not at all out of your element and confused. And they're in the rotunda and blah, blah, blah. And we'll see how long you can actually stay on topic. I have not seen this, so... here we go.
And our country is starting to do very well again. It's happening fast, a little faster than people thought.
Really? So the egg prices are down, are they? Eggs are doing good. Groceries down. Housing availability is up. Jobs are doing great. We're opening some factories immediately. I mean, not the ones that were paid for under the Biden administration, like all of the data centers you were taking credit for.
Thank you especially to Senator Marshall for the beautiful introduction. Appreciate it very much. Thank you. Great senator you are.
And even better at giving me introductions.
I also want to thank a friend and a man of profound faith and tremendous patriotism who's also become a great friend. You become much friendlier when you have a majority of 2 or 3 or 4. Could even be 5 pretty soon. But for a little while, it was 1. And it's Mike Johnson, Speaker. Thank you very much, Mike, very much. And thanks as well to somebody who's doing a fantastic job, Senator.
So that just about anybody?
Thune, thank you very much, Senator. It's not easy. It's not easy.
Dealing with you? Yes.
It's really great. And Leader Scalise, Steve, wherever you may be, I think you're here someplace. There he is, a brave guy, too. A brave guy, I always say it. And Senator Chuck Schumer. Chuck, thank you very much. Thank you. Senator Hassan, thank you very much. Thank you, very nice to see you. Congressman Jeffries, thank you. And many other very distinguished leaders in the room. It's great group of people.
He just said, there you heard it. He thinks Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are great. Sorry, maggots. He just said they're great people. I don't know what to tell you. You can't argue with it. He said it. Chuck Schumer is great, according to your hero. So is Hakeem Jeffries. I know it's rough. Just absorb it for a minute. He said it, must be true. He meant it. Great people. He said it.
If it could ever come together, it would be unbelievable. May not happen, but it should, and maybe it will. From the earliest days of our republic, faith
Let me get back to reading.
in God has always been the ultimate source of the strength that beats in the hearts of our nation.
And something, words, Wikipedia about religion, very important, so important.
We have to bring religion back.
Which one? This asshole thinks Christianity is the only kind of religion, and he doesn't even participate in it.
We have to bring it back much stronger. It's one of the biggest problems that we've had over the last fairly long period of time.
Well, fairly.
We have to bring it
What's a fairly long period of time? 6 decades? 3? Few months?
back. Thomas Jefferson himself once attended Sunday services held in the old House chamber on the very ground where I stand today.
So I'm basically Thomas Jefferson. So where do I sign the Constitution?
So there could be nothing more beautiful than for us to gather in this majestic place.
The majestic. It's very majestic. I agree. I think of all the buildings in D.C., it is majestic.
There could be nothing more beautiful than for us to gather in this majestic
Sorry, I mispronounced it. I put the emphasis on the wrong syllable.
place. It is majestic and reaffirm
Yeah, okay. You can say it both ways.
that America is and will always be one nation under God.
Which one?
At every stage of the American story, our country has drawn hope and courage and inspiration from our trust in the Almighty. Deep in the soul of every patriot is the knowledge that God has a special plan
And like this sounds like a fucking book report from a toddler. Deep in the heart of everyone, the Lord reaches in and delivers unto. I have to poop. Shh, Johnny, finish the report. I have to poop. Finish it. All right. The Lord blesses us on this day that we all know that faith in God and faith in America. I'm pooping right now. I'm pooping. Why? Well, then just pooping, but don't stop. All right. Don't stop pooping? No, reading. I'm sorry.
glorious mission for America. And that plan is going to happen. It's going to happen. I hope it happens sooner rather than later. It's going to happen.
Yeah, God, what are you waiting for?
And it's his hand that guides us every single step of the way. And all of you and the things we have to do is to see the defining role that faith and prayer have played in the life of our
Yeah, that's what you have to do. All of you, and you have to see what you've done.
nation.
Wait, listen to that again. Wait, what?
All of you and the things we have to do is to see the defining role that faith and prayer have played in the life of our nation.
Yeah, that's all you and what you have to do. That's what it says on the paper. He read it right.
And you just have to look at this building and you can look at each other.
What's up? Hey, how you doing?
You can really look at each other.
You can't. You really give everybody a once-over. Come on. Don't be afraid. Reach into the lap of a person. Stick your head between your knees. Your own knees, Father.
It's defined almost everyone in this room. I think faith.
Almost. Some of you, myself included, never cracked that fucking book. I held it upside down, guilty as charged.
Faith has been very strong with the people in this room. Just steps away from here in the Hall of Columns is the statue of John Winthrop.
The statue. He's, I gotta tell you, late in the day, kids. Gets into the afternoon around dinner time, the brain fog starts to creep in. They ought to have a giant, like, foghorn that just blows, and he knows to report back to the residency and go upstairs. You know more than anyone that faith.
Who famously proclaimed that America would stand as a city upon a hill, a light to all nations,
To all nations.
with the eyes of all people upon us. Today, almost 400 years after that famous sermon, we see that with the Lord's help, the city stands taller and shines brighter than ever before, or at least it soon will.
Not right now, obviously, with me standing here, but maybe, I don't know, 6 to 10 years, we'll get our shit together.
In that same hall,
When Hal Sparks is president, this whole place will feel so much more fun. Like, this will not feel like we're all waiting to have a colonoscopy performed on us by someone who's just reading the manual right in front of us.
we also find the statue of the great Roger Williams, who founded the state of Rhode Island, named its capital city Providence, and built the first Baptist church in America. It's Williams that we have to thank for making religious liberty part of the bedrock of American life. And today we must
Well, that and everybody that agreed to it.
protect the fundamental freedom with absolute devotion. We must stand strong, just like generations of Americans have done.
What are you talking about? You're trying to implement like an evangelical only policy about stuff. If you want to stand strong with religious liberty, you got to be faith. Forced faith is not faith of any sort. So if you try to establish a religion, or you try to, create a category of hierarchy of religions, you automatically destroy the ones at the top that you put the most effort into, because you say they're the ones that are the most difficult to have natural faith in.
On the battlefield.
Other than that, I mean, sit down.
All around the world. Feet away from the magnificent rotunda, another statue watches over visitors to the Capitol. George Washington, the founder of our country, often called for Americans to join together in prayer, very often.
Yeah, it got annoying, actually, after a while. He was like, let us pray. And like, we just prayed, George. Come on, guys. Let us pray. You just want us to shut our eyes so you can look for your teeth. I just don't want them to bounce near the fire.
And more than 2 centuries later, this morning, we heed President Washington's wisdom and follow in his mighty footsteps. He was a strong
Footstepper.
man and of great religious strength.
Really? Yeah. Tell us a little bit about it. You don't have to read. Tell us about the religion of George Washington. As a Mason, I would love to fucking hear it. As a matter of fact, one of the things I've been wanting to get for a very long time is one of these. Hold on. Let me show you this thing, baby. Yeah, there it is. The Brother George. God damn it. It's, I don't know, Etsy, where is it? Yeah, here we go. Quit it. I want to show you guys this. The George Washington as a Freemason, this is one of the ones that you kind of want to get to wear at lodge sometimes, like for 4th of July, shit like that. That's George Washington's Freemason apron, man. That's some major shit. It's got a UFO. It's got like Pythagorean math. It's got Space Invaders. Everything. It's fucking great. I so want one of these, almost as much as I want the Skull and Crossbones one. But I'll show you the other one. No relation to the Skull and Bones at all. Let's see. I don't want the pointed one. Rounded. Hold on. Where are you, you silly thing? Usually it comes straight up when I'm looking for it because I... Nope, get out of here. You silly thing. Yeah, here it is. This guy. I just love this one. As Masonic aprons go, silence and circumspection, baby. Look at that one. That one's great. It's got this the square is wood, is a wooden angle, and then the compass has got bones, like finger bones in the thing. So, anyways.
The stories of legends like Washington, Winthrop, and Williams remind us that without...
What stories? Tell us one of the stories. Don't just breeze by it. Tell us all the stories you know. Wouldn't you guys love to hear? I'm sure you guys would want to hear the stories, right? He knows, he's got to know the story. That's why he brought it up.
faith in God, there would be no American story.
Or any story at all. Just tell us one of the stories. You've got them memorized. Come on, you got the greatest memory in the world. You probably just breezed right by it.
Every citizen should be proud of this exceptional heritage. We have an unbelievable heritage, and
he loves heritage. He loves that whole thing like, you owe us. We've been here a long time.
we have to use that and make life better for everyone.
Great. Thanks, man. Excellent. Yep. That's what a heritage is for. Use it. Use your heritage. It's like that was the early version of Use Your Illusion, right? Was it was one of the weirder demo albums from Guns N' Roses was Use Your Heritage.
That's why as we approach the 25th times 10.
The 250th? Yeah, look, don't be afraid to do math in public. The 25th times 10 anniversary. That's how I look at it. That's how you look at it.
Anniversary. Think of that. 250 years we'll be celebrating.
Yeah, I was pretty sure when you said 25 times 10 that's what it added up to. What is it? I was like, oh, equals 250. The 25 times 10? My mother, God damn it. Because he's just talking out of his ass and whatever. But there's a bunch of maggots now who are making their 25x10 fucking shirts. God damn it. Yeah, it's 2.5 times 100. Why not?
Next year of our country's founding, I have signed an executive order to
all right.
To resume the process of creating a new national park full of statues of the greatest Americans who ever lived.
Great. And you'll be in there. You're gonna have your own statue. This is just your way of getting your own fucking statue in the place.
We're going to be honoring our heroes, honoring the greatest people from our country. We're not going to be tearing down. We're going to be building up.
Oh, so it's going to be it should be like a big monument to Robert E. Lee. It's going to be like Custer and Jesse James and like the two biggest plantation owners in the South. I mean, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the cotton industry.
It would be called the National Garden of American Heroes.
Great. Rolls off the tongue.
Some of you will be on that soon-to-be hallowed ground. Some of you, let's see, I can pick a few of you right now by looking. Because there's a couple of you right now I can see. Let's see. It's the president's sole opinion. And I've given myself a 25-year period. And then somebody else. By that time, it'll be very, very built up.
Or it will just be shuffled because it's an executive order, weirdo. Who's budgeting for this? Where the fuck is the money coming from?
No, it's...
No, I don't know. No, you can't, No, I can't. I'm gonna, no.
It will be something very special.
Yeah, it'll have when you walk through the gate, it'll be Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell holding hands, and you walk under there, and then you walk through a little opening, and it's Matt Gaetz's crotch, and then, yeah.
I hope that Congress will fully fund this.
Yeah, while they're cutting school programs.
Wonderfully unifying project.
Yeah, it'll be so much more unifying than funding schools.
At the first possible opportunity. It's not going to be a lot of money. Going to be very important, however.
Well, then don't ask Congress for it. Take charitable donations for it, unnamed or some shit. Let DC do it.
So that more of our people can be inspired by the faith and courage of patriots like those who we honor in these halls.
Yeah, I don't need a statue to do that. I mean, I really don't. I mean, I guess it has some value. When I was growing up, we used to go rub Lincoln's toe at the Kentucky state capitol. That was a big thing. His toe is very brassy, whereas the rest of him is, dark brown, green, because... Yeah.
One of the incredible Americans whose memory my order will celebrate is also recognized with a statue in the Capitol representing the great state of North Carolina. And that's a man known who everybody loved, Reverend Billy Graham.
Not everybody.
He was something. My father used to take me to watch the Crusades. He would take me to Yankee Stadium. I remember it so well.
Really? Really? Tell us so one of the speeches. I'm sure you can just kind of... Nope, you can't bust out. Look, is there a single chat room? Please let me know if there's a maggot out there that this is lost on. Maggots, I myself, you could, in the middle of the night, poke me with a stick and go, John 3:16. And I would go, for God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son, for whosoever believes in him will not perish, but have everlasting life. Like, I would bark it the fuck out like that in the middle of the night. Do you think do you think Trump can repeat John 3:16? Of all of the fucking... Dude couldn't figure out, he doesn't know Jesus wept. Never mind, no man shall know the hour nor the day, not even the Son, only the Father shall know. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear anything about you being an American Christian if you can't, repeat John 3:16 at the drop of a fucking hat. I call bullshit. You don't have to have a favorite verse, but you got to be able to prattle that thing. Because I guarantee all the fomenting Christians in the House and the Senate, bet you fucking they can. Even the fake ones. Because they've at least gone through the goddamn motions.
I remember it.
Hold on.
More than I remember any Yankee game, and I've seen a lot of Yankee games. Can you believe it?
No, I don't believe it. A short anecdote about something he said, even if it was in your written remarks, would go a long way. But you can't, because you'll come out and go, I remember he said blah, blah, blah. And it's in there because it fits in with what I'm doing. He's like, that thing about Jesus said, welcome the stranger? Fuck that. Remember when he said that? That's what you would put in there.
And Billy didn't have a bat. So, he's pretty good.
What? Okay, by the way, that's the whole Elvis had a guitar, I fill a stadium, and Elvis filled stadiums, but Elvis had a guitar. Okay, first of all, he also sang. He didn't just have a guitar. He was performing it. And also, he sold tickets, dumb fuck. Your events are free.
It was amazing.
So is voting. If it costs money to vote, you'd have lost, hands down.
You'd have 60 or 70,000 people, and they loved him. They loved him. I saw him with Franklin. I don't know if Franklin's here. I just don't know, but I've gotten to know Franklin.
You just don't know.
He's done a great job with helping on tragedies and problems like in North Carolina.
Yeah, he's the Jessica Fletcher of tragedies. He shows up so much, I'm concerned that he might be the cause.
California, he's always the first one there. The work he does his father's very proud of him, I can tell you that. But
yeah, what's the name of the organization, Samaritan's Purse? I know it. What's the name of the organization? The organization, you met with him twice in North Carolina. He was there right next to you. You brought up the organization. You can remember what it is, right? He does all this great work. He's with Samaritan. You could name drop his organization if you think it's doing great work. Huh? I'm kidding. You don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Billy Graham was very special.
Was he? He was. All right.
One floor below us, Reverend Graham's statue stands with an open Bible. The page turned to a letter from the Apostle Paul, which reads, "Let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up." Never give up. Never, ever give up.
Yeah, that's what it says after. It says, never give up, never, ever give up. And there's like a brass page, and if you turn it, it just goes, really, seriously, don't give up. Don't ever give up. Quit it. And then on the next page, it's got a little cat on a curtain, and it says, hang in there. Maybe if you're just quoting the Bible, maybe just say the thing that's in the actual. maybe you don't need to goose the Bible verse a little. Like, you know, it can stand on its own, you know? I just say, all right.
You can't. How about me? If I would have given up, I would not be here right now. Who the hell knows where I'd be? It might not be a good place. If it was up to the Democrats, it would not be a good place at all. Never, ever give up. There could be...
Yeah, that's the lesson of that Bible verse. Never give up, because they might throw you in jail, and...
No better message for the leaders gathered here, and you are real leaders.
It is. The word leader is right there. It's on the paper. So if it says leader, you must be.
And we must never give up, and
don't forget to lead.
We must never grow tired.
Never give up. Never surrender. Right.
We must never grow weary, and we always must practice good. As you know, last week.
Sorry.
We must never grow tired. We must never grow weary.
And I think those mean different things.
And we always must practice good. As you know, last week.
Just practice good. We may never get good at good. We may fail at good, but better to fail at good trying to be good than to not try at all and still be bad. But at least you tried, and you can blame someone else.
Week only a few miles from here, our nation witnessed a terrible tragedy when 67 people were killed in a horrible accident near Reagan Airport. As one nation, we take solace in the knowledge that their journey...
That it wasn't our fault for firing the FAA people, and it's probably because they hired some black ladies.
...that night did not end in the icy waters of the Potomac, but in the warm embrace of a very loving God.
Yikes, dude. Again, take your faux fucking sympathy somewhere else. What a loving God, what do you want him to do? Go swimming?
None of us knows exactly when our time on earth will be over. You never know.
Trump hates reading that. You never know, but you kind of do.
A truth I confronted a few short months ago.
Oh, fuck you. I'm basically one of those gymnasts that went down in the plane. I'm basically the same, except I'm alive because God likes me better.
When there was an incident that was not fun.
Jesus Christ. You gotta make it about you, don't you? You just talk about like 67 people are fucking dead, and you're like, let me tell you, last summer was not fun. Getting your ear nicked is not fun. If you don't believe me, ask Corey Comparator's family.
It was not a good thing, but God was watching me. The chances of me being here.
Oh, Jesus.
My sons are shooters. They're really good shooters.
Oh, my God. God was obviously watching over me and protecting me. He didn't give a shit about those 67 people in the plane and the helicopter. But me, I was there. Fuck Corey Comparator and his stupid family. You know, God obviously wanted him broomed, but God wanted me to survive. He also wanted my ear nicked for some reason, and I'm still pissed at him about that.
Don and Eric?
Yes, we get it. Yeah, Dumb and Dumber.
And they said the chances of missing from that range with that gun are... But Don equated it to a 1-foot putt. That's...
Yeah, how many times with a 1-foot putt do you have snipers facing your direction that start firing at you as soon as you know when you're about to hit the putt that you're going to be shot at, and you just saw a cop that's reaching for his gun still playing golf. What do you think the chances of hitting that putt are? I'm going to guess you're going to overshoot. No pun intended.
Pretty bad. 2 feet I can see missing, but 1 foot you can't miss. It was the equivalent of a 1 foot putt is what
No, it
he
wasn't.
told me. He said, in fact, he gained some religion. He went up 25%.
So there's a graph. There's a faith graph, a chartable faith graph.
And if you know him, that's a lot. But
So 25% of 0 is what? Oh yeah.
he said there had to be somebody that saved you, and I think I know who it is. And it
Yeah, the snipers, the cop on the ground, and the Secret Service.
looked up and I said, "Whoa, Don, you've come a long way." He's a good guy, but my 2 sons just really couldn't believe it. Had I not turned that right turn just at that time, and the audience, 55,000 people standing this way.
No, they weren't.
There was just a few people in the back on the bleachers. There was nobody over there except for my all-time favorite chart in history, a chart on immigration. Immigration saved my life, see? So we're going to be good for immigration, okay? But had I not made that turn, boom, and quit.
Jesus Christ. Remember at the RNC, he was like, I'm going to speak of this once and never speak of it again. And now he's like blathering about it in the middle of the National Prayer Breakfast remarks.
Quickly. It was almost as though a deer bolted. You know, they say the only way you miss when you're a good shot is if it bolts. I bolted. I turned to the right to look at the chart, and I said, wow, what was that? What was that? So,
By the way, just so you know, this is more about the fact that he ruminates on this all the time. That he's never considered his own mortality in any serious sense in his life. And that, whether he was participant in the fakery of it or whether it happened exactly as everybody said, it is immaterial. Because his reaction to it scared the shit out of him, clearly. And he's been stuck on it ever since. And as his brain turns to mush, he's going to fixate on it even more. This is untreated PTSD, and he's already incapable of dealing with these kind of things.
So you never know, but God did that. I mean, it had to be. The chances of turning, there's no reason to turn to the right. You know, the chart is rarely brought down. I brought it down maybe 20%. And 20% of the time.
What the fuck are you talking about? Jesus Christ.
And it's never on my right, it's always on my left.
No, it isn't. You have 2 screens.
And it's always at the end of the speech.
No, it isn't.
It's never the beginning of the
He was starting to do it at the beginning on purpose.
speech. And if I was a little more than that 90-degree angle, it would be no good. And if I was a little less, it would be no good. It had to be perfect. Thing went right along.
Well, no, perfect would be not hitting you at all, I guess. Perfect, if God really wanted to save you, he would have given the fucker a flat tire on his way there.
Along the edge. It didn't affect my hair. Can you believe that?
Anyways, what was I saying about the 67 people who died, including young gymnasts or figure skaters the other day? Anyways, those people, blah, blah, blah.
Might have touched it, but not where it counts. Not the skin part. But
The skin part. Jesus, what?
honestly, it's a mirror. It changed something in me. I feel even stronger. I believed in God, but I feel much more strongly about it. Something happened.
Oh, yeah? What, 25%? 27%?
Happened. So, thank you.
Thank you. It took getting shot at for me to actually think you guys are anything short of fucking nuts.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, round of applause for how a near-death experience and untreated PTSD have made me religious, not the depth of my philosophical and spiritual journey, obviously, which is, shallow as a fucking puddle, so.
But that event, like the tragedy last week, should.
Yeah, they're a lot like. They're so alike.
remind us all that we have to make the most out of every single day that we have. Who would think that you're in space and two things collide?
Who would think you're in space and two things collide? You know, good question. No one.
The odds of that happening are so small, even without proper control. We should have had the proper control. We should have had better equipment. We don't. We have obsolete equipment.
Obsolete. On the helicopter, it was a training mission.
They were understaffed for whatever reason. I guess the helicopter was high, and we'll find
Somebody was high.
out exactly what happened. But
Well, then don't talk about it until you know. How about that? How about just talk about the fact that it's a tragedy because you're at a fucking prayer breakfast and people died, and stop trying to lay blame somewhere else and blame the last administration for something that happened during yours after you fired people at the FAA.
the odds, even if you had nothing, if you had nobody, the odds of that happening are extremely small. It's like, did you ever see, you go to a driving range in golf and you're hitting balls hundreds of...
This is, because this is so fucking gross. You know, the helicopter hitting the plane and those 67 people dying. It's like when you ever been at a driving range playing golf? Jesus Christ.
balls, thousands of hours. I never see a ball hit another ball.
Careful with that kind of talk. You're going to set off Mike Johnson's app.
Balls going up all over the place. You never see them hit. It was
Yeah. I don't, if I had a nickel, fuck me.
amazing that that could happen. There was a lot of mistakes made, and it should have never happened. But regardless of that, it's amazing that it happened.
Shut the fuck up. God, it's awful. This is just awful. This is pathetic. Maggots, I don't want to hear any shit about Biden's wandering brain ever. This is fucked up. People died, and he's like, well, it should happen. I don't know. Like, well, you ever been playing golf? And the odds are just, can you imagine? You're in the air and two things. I mean, even if nobody was around, it's just like blathering at a fucking bar. Eat your wings and shut the fuck up, Barry.
And I think that's going to be used for good. I think what is going to happen is we're all going to sit down and do a great computerized system for our control towers, brand new, not pieced together, obsolete like it is land-based, trying to hook up a land-based system to a satellite system.
What the fuck do you think we use? String?
And the first...
trying to hook up a land-based system to a satellite system? What do you mean trying?
thing that some experts told me when this happened is you can't hook up land to satellites, and you
unless you have a really long cord.
Can't hook up satellites to land.
No, it just doesn't work that way unless you got eventually you're going to run out of cable.
Doesn't work. We spent billions and billions of dollars trying to renovate an old broken system on...
Whoa. No, renovate all, blah, blah, blah. At some point, you're going to connect a land-based system to the satellite system. There's going to be something that's going to communicate between something, and it's not going to... You're not going to run a fucking wire up, dummy. What the hell?
Instead of just saying, cut it loose, and let's spend less money and build a great system done by 2 or 3 companies, very good companies, specialists, that's all it is. They used 39 companies. That means that 39 different hookups have to happen. And I don't know how many people of you are good in terms of all of the kind of things necessary for that. And it's very complex stuff.
Yeah, I don't know how many of you guys are good with all of the kind of things that are necessary for that, and it's very complex stuff. Look, obviously he knows what's up. Obviously, you and I can't even fathom.
But when you have 39 different companies working on hooking up, different cities had different people.
Yeah, it sounds. I mean, you can't have an orgy in the middle of the tower when there's helicopters flying loose all over the place.
You need one company with one set of
39 hookups. That sounds like a movie about my summer in 1997. Sorry.
equipment, and there are some countries that have unbelievable air controller systems.
Do they? Air controller systems?
And bells would have gone off when that helicopter literally even hit the same height, because it traveled a long distance before it hit. It was just.
Dude, shut up! You're at the National Prayer Breakfast! Shut the fuck up! Stop it! This is so awful.
Wouldn't stop. It was, follow the line. But bells and whistles would have gone off. They have them where it actually could virtually turn the thing around. It would have just never happened if we had the right equipment. And one of the things that's going to be, I'm going to be speaking to John. And
Sorry, real quick. So you want our military aircraft to have bells and whistles on them, or things that set them off when they're flying in a place where they're not supposed to fly, so that alarms go off. So in case they have to fly someplace in an emergency, they're just setting off alarms all over the fucking place? That's the plan? I mean, it was a military helicopter that hit a passenger plane. The passenger plane had the right of way.
Mike and to Chuck and to everybody, we have to get together and just, as a single bill, just pass where we get the best control system.
Yeah, it just put it like Best Control System Act of 2025. Use 3 companies instead of 39 and make it awesome. My fucking God.
When I land in my plane, privately, I use a system from another country, because my captain tells me I'm landing in New York and I'm using a system. I won't tell you what country, but I use a system from another country, because the captain says this thing is so bad, it's so obsolete, and we can't have that.
What? Get the fuck out of here. No, you don't. You use the air traffic controller system in the States. What do you mean you bought a radar system or something in your plane that you got that's made in the Czech Republic or some other country that makes airplane parts? Who cares? Your fucking engines are more than likely German. Who gives a shit?
So we're going to have the best system. And
but I won't tell you where it's from, and I won't tell you what I use, because it's the prayer breakfast and you've all just had waffles.
a lot of money, but it's not that much money. And it'll happen fast, and it'll be done by total professionals. And when it's done, you're not going to have accidents. It's just not, they're virtually not possible to have.
They're virtually not possible to have. That's what our record is until you showed up, fuckwad.
Each of us is blessed with a precious chance to help lead America to renew our pledges of faith and everything else. And
yeah, faith and everything else is all together, just like a pile. It's like that KFC bucket of food that you get, with just like mashed potatoes and chicken wings and shit like that, all in a big with gravy. Whatever Patton Oswalt calls it, a sadness bowl, whatever. Yeah, it's like that plus faith.
Bring us to new heights and create a future of promise for our people and for ourselves. You know,
we're not our people. Fuck them. We're not our, yes, we'll create it for our people, but for ourselves. We'll carve ourselves off a slice. Am I right, folks?
The most important people in the country in a true sense here, because you're the one.
Jesus. Really? Hold on. We've come across yet another thing that if Biden said it, these motherfuckers would be apoplectic.
You know, we have the most important people in the country in a true sense here, because you're the ones that are going to make the decision. You're the ones that are leading us into so many different things,
into so many different things.
It's the right air control system or the right size.
The right air control system to control the air. We're going to turn.
Military, or what to do and what not to do.
Yeah, both of those things.
Important people. And
Yeah, not the plebes back. Washington is where the important shit happens. Thank you for finally, look at it. Trump is finally standing up for the Washington elite.
many of you are very religious. I know so many of you are very religious, and
I don't get it, but whatever.
I just think that our country has been so badly hurt. We're very hurt by what COVID did to religion. It
Really? What, did people lose their fucking faith? What?
really hurt it badly. People couldn't go to church for a long period of time.
Wait, you think your faith starts and stops at the vestibule, at the steps of the church?
Even going outside, they were given a hard time, and I'm not blaming anybody for that.
Because it happened during your presidency?
But it was very hard to gather, so they started using computers.
Oh, that's what it did. God hates computers.
If that.
Yeah, if that. Some of them were using semaphore, Aldous lamps.
And when they come back, it's just, a whole new experience they have to
What is this place? I feel like I haven't been here in weeks.
get used to. But it is starting to come back. We had a fantastic thing happen yesterday. The Army.
Oh, no. I gotta tell you, when he's it's bad enough. This has been fucking horrible. But every time he thinks he's on a roll right now. That's what's really fucked up about this. Jesus.
Had the best recruitment numbers that they've had in more than 15 years. They think it could be 25 years, actually. They're going to probably put that out. But
yeah, because it doesn't matter. We made the number up.
More than 15 years.
Yeah, right. At the middle of the Iraq and Afghanistan war, where everybody was like, fuck this.
Just now. And we were worried about it. We were talking about it numerous times that, we don't have people joining our military services. We don't have people joining our police force. We have to cherish our police. It's so dangerous. You open a car and somebody starts shooting. They have blackened windows. You don't even have any idea who.
This is the fucking prayer breakfast. You go up and somebody has a big fucking live free or die on their fucking bumper sticker on their truck. And you're like, this motherfucker might be crazy.
Who's in the car? Oftentimes they have the dark windows.
Yeah, and they themselves might be dark, I think is what you mean. And therefore.
Which they're not, in theory, supposed to have, but they have them. The door opens and a gun is pointed at your face, and
I hate that.
Can't do a thing about it.
Nope. Except, I suppose, back up and shoot them.
It's just nothing you're going to do.
It happens a lot, actually.
About it.
They do stuff about it all the time. It happens, yeah.
Your friends will take them out. It's happened so many times, but it's such a dangerous thing. We have to cherish these people. So today we join our hearts and prayers and.
With everybody getting shot in the face. Pray against people with darkened windows.
Committing to putting our country first. We have to put our country first, making America strong.
I thought maybe God first. Is that the kind of point of this whole thing? Because most of the people that are there on your side of the aisle are like, I'm a Christian first, then I'm an American. That's one of their big things.
Bigger and greater and more exceptional than ever before. And we have to make religion a much more important factor now. We have to make it an important factor.
Yes, an important factor.
And if we do that,
it'll be one of the best factors. It'll be we're going to do that. We're going to make religion a big, beautiful factor. We're going to make a religion factory. You know how they have the Laugh Factory for laughs and the Cheesecake Factory? We need a Jesus factory. I mean, trademark that because I feel like Larry Graham over here is going to use it.
Our job is just going to be much easier. It unifies people. It brings people together. Democrats are going to be able to have lunch again and dinner.
I had lunch today, yeah.
With Republicans. And I remember just as growing.
I have Thanksgiving dinner with them all the time. Well, once a year.
Up, I'd see, I revered senators and congressmen, and
Did you?
something very special. But they were out to dinner.
Yeah, before you showed up. It's weird. It's funny. Until you showed up with your bullshit, they kind of got along. They kind of worked on shit, you know. You hashed stuff out. It was, you know, there was a level of comedy.
All the time. We had an old congressman, maybe some of Cy Halpern from Queens, and he was a friend of my father. But he'd have dinner with, he was a Democrat, he'd have dinner with Republicans, and he'd be out, it wouldn't even make a difference. Today, it's like shocking.
Dude, you just shit on Democrats at the prayer breakfast 4 times.
And it shouldn't be. You have to get together. We really have.
We got to get together, even though you guys the airplane fell out of the sky because God and you guys basically are to blame. Let's bow our heads.
To get together. We all know what's right and what's wrong. And there's going to be compromise on both sides. But we have to just do the right thing, and we have to get together. You did.
Compromise? What? Uh-oh, the deep state's got him.
You did it with Marco Rubio. You got everybody who's 99 votes, and the only vote was our VP, who maybe we should have been there just to make it 100. But I think I would have been angered if it was 100. That might be a step too far, right?
Sorry, if your VP or whoever replaced him in the Ohio Senate would have voted for that person in the Senate, in the confirmation, that would have made you mad because of his popularity? Nothing like a little vainglorious bullshit in the middle of the prayer breakfast.
But no, it was great to see a vote. Pam Bondi had support from Democrats, and some of the others had some pretty good support. So, you know, it's...
Yeah, not so much Kash Patel right now. They punted that today.
It's doable. We had a recent bill having to do with a very beautiful young lady who was killed from Georgia. And that bill was very bipartisan. It was very beautiful.
Yeah, because it was basically they took the bill the Democrats wanted to pass, slapped Laken Riley's name on it, and passed it. That's what it took to get you guys to vote for the thing you liked.
Thing to watch, actually. And so I think we just have to, if possible, we have to unify.
By the way, the whole Laken Riley thing where they named the bill that was literally to manipulate Republican voters into thinking that they added something to it or made it extra special or moved it along from the original, bipartisan bill that had passed earlier. They just threw that name on. It had nothing to do with Democrats or even shoving it in their faces. It was literally just to make sure that the Republican voters thought something had happened. That's it. It's like the Patriot Act, like adding that name to it. Nothing changed. The names makes you feel like the Patriot Act appeals to a certain kind of person.
There's big division. I mean, some people want an open border and some people want a closed border. We want it closed and they want it open. That's a big difference. How do you solve that problem? It's a big difference.
Well, first you quit, you stop bullshitting everyone that anybody wants an open border the way you say. And you also stop bullshitting people that you've actually closed it in the way that you say.
Some people want men and women's sports, and some people don't. And I was with somebody yesterday who was so upset that the bill was signed where men cannot participate in women's sports. And I said, he's a very smart guy. Went to a great school, was a great student, and he actually feels, that...
Who?
That should happen. Men should be able to play, meaning transition into women's sports.
Transition into women's sports. I've been wondering how you say that this whole time. Sorry, I was saying transgender athletes all the time, and that's my fault. How do you say it again? What was that again?
Be able to play, meaning transition into women's sports.
Okay, yeah, that's. I'm sorry. I'm just not up on the newfangled language.
And you talk to them, and it's just, I don't understand it. I think it. I don't.
Yeah, but that applies to a lot of things.
Don't understand how the problem ever got started in the first place.
Yeah, the issues in the world are not contained by your inability to comprehend them.
It just seems so simple.
Well, that's maybe why you can't understand it, because you're simple.
But he's a good person and just believes it. He just believes it. Not going to be easy to convince him otherwise. So where is
Who is he talking about? Scott Bessent?
the middle ground? It's hard to have a middle ground. There's two ways. I mean, you can either do it or you can't. But I
Like Jesus said.
think a lot of good things are going to happen. A lot of people might be surprised to hear me say that of all people, but I think a lot of good things are going to happen because
Why would they be surprised for you to say that while you're president? Of course you think that, dummy. That's not surprising. What will be surprising is if something bad happens and you go, well, I'm president and the buck stops here. It's my responsibility. I'm the president. That would shock the fuck out of everyone.
our country's got some big headaches, but we have tremendous spirit right now.
Yeah, I always cure my headaches with spirit.
The spirit is as high as it's been. It was up 49 points.
Yes, faith in God up 25% and Spirit up 49%. I'm not ready to buy Spirit Airlines stock yet, but if Southwest goes to assigned seating, I'm jumping ship.
This morning, 49 points. It's the biggest increase in the history of whatever the poll was.
You know what? Oh, God, that's amazing. What?
It's up 49 points this morning. 49 points. It's the biggest increase in the history of whatever the poll was.
I don't even tell you. How do you even argue with that? It's got to be true. It's so insane.
So the spirit is there. That's a big...
Well, 49% of it is. Of whatever the poll was. Oh, God. That's just brutal. Oh, shit. Okay, here we go. Sorry. Oh, God. Whew.
Factor. That's probably the hardest thing to get back, to be honest. The rest is easy. So I want to just thank you.
Spirit's hard to get back, but, infrastructure, satellites, a good FAA system, that's easy to get back. It's the spirit that's difficult.
Well, I want to congratulate a lot of the new members. I see so many of you that ran great races, David. That was a great race. But so many that ran great races, and on both sides, you ran some incredible races. So
it was an amazing race.
Good to be with you. And God bless everybody. We want to...
You know what? That'll do it. Thanks. Somebody get the hook.
Come together and...
Right now, over me.
The happiest person, the element, the everything that's going to be happy. People of religion are going...
What is that? Wait. This is the big closer, man. This is fucking MLK shit. Here we go. Prayer breakfast, bitches. Let's do this. What?
Come together and the happiest, the person, the element, the everything that's going to be happy. People of religion are going to be happy again. And I really believe you can't be happy without religion, without...
Jesus Christ. Fuck that. I'm done. I don't even need to see the last couple minutes of that. What the ever-loving shit? I really believe you can't be happy without religion. Jesus. And here's the takeaway, if I may. And thank you for tuning in, guys. House Sparks Mega Worldwide. See, I confront this stuff head on. Other people are like, I don't want to watch the whole I'm not, this isn't making me nervous at all. And the more you see it, and again, see all of it, not just little clips of it where you're like, oh shit, he's got it together and these people are working with him and things are going to work out for him and they never work out for us. And that whole fucking catastrophizing bullshit. And then you watch the whole thing and you're like, oh, right, he's still the same dough-headed motherfucker he was last time, only worse. And the people around him are either using him or having to deal with the fact that he's fucking losing it. So, I'm not going to worry as much as people insist I do. Sorry. Jesus. But, like, the thing you have to take away from that is that you and I all heard that. We all watched that. We heard the words coming out. Even the maggots in the audience watching my show. And I want to thank you, trolls, for showing up because you helped me, grow my show better than anybody. Hit that, give me a thumbs down while you're at it because, please, any interaction at all, especially when you type stuff in the chat room, no matter what site you're on, whether you're on Facebook, on YouTube, on Rumble, on any of these sites, if you write anything in my chat, it says to the algorithm, not only are they watching this dude, but he's fucking engaging. So I want to thank you for that. That said, yes, and Twitch. God love you, Twitch people. Mwah. But you have to understand, the people sitting in that audience, Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are like, oh my fucking God, what a dipshit. But they're not alone. All the other Republicans there, the ones who want him to succeed and think the sun shines out of his ass and he's their big glowing orange sun, and they're sitting here listening to him yammer about his fucking, nicked ear after talking about 67 dead Americans and how cheap it would be to not have this happen, and boom, and there was a thing, and blah, blah, blah. We didn't have the right stuff, and transports, and blah, blah. They're sitting there, they're seeing it too, and they can only lie to themselves so much. The maggots, your standard run-of-the-mill, Floridian maggot, those guys are in all seriousness, are probably incapable. There's like this barrier to reality when they're watching him. They just can't see past it, right? They cannot. It must be code. Maybe it's not him, it's me. I can't understand it because he's just genius, right? That's what genius sounds like, blathering word salad of fake religion. That's what a genius truly sounds like. But the people sitting in that room, they didn't get where they were by being completely stupid. And even the Tommy Tubervilles of the room are going, I don't know. Kind of sounds like bullshit to me. So just know that it digs in, that his behavior, his talking, and all this kind of stuff, it does weave its way into their brain. And there's only so much of that shit you can stand next to somebody and go, you're totally smarter than me. Eventually, you're gonna run up against a wall where you're like, I can't fake this anymore. This guy's a dumb fuck. Look, as long as he does the things we want, I'm for it. But Jesus Christ, I can't pretend he's not stupid. So to the maggots, I want to thank you for being here. To the trolls, there are other places you could be, and thank you for the gift of your time and your attention. The very thing you can't ever get back means a lot. Really does. So take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Oh, and I've got to play music. Sorry, I have to manually do the music now. That's the thing, isn't it? There we go. Hit that like, and if you hate my guts, please give a thumbs down on whatever site. Give me a negative emoji. If you're on Facebook, please, an angry emoji really does me a lot of good. For real. I'm not kidding. Even if you like me, an angry emoji helps. And tomorrow, Rob Glenn for Friday Eye and Major Ojeda will be with us. It's going to be awesome. Airborne.